Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Inka Saputra with student ID number 23202022, which is a moderator. Now on this occasion, we will presentation about computer hardware. Computer hardware is part of computer system as a device that can be touched, seen physically, and asked to carry out instruction from software. Hardware play a role of role on the performance of computer system. Okay, before do the presentation, I will introduce my friends.
My name is Rahma R Zahra, NIM 23201026.
Hi, let me introduce myself. My name is Dede Rahmadi as the second speaker. My NVM is 2030-2030.
Hi, my name is Sinta Kamalia. Here I am Narrator 2.
Alright, in this following, we will explain about development, how it works, the type and function of computer hardware. During its development, hardware is divided into two periods, namely the period before 1940 and after 1940. In the period before 1940, it is said to be development of computer with mechanical technology. Hardware fundamentally has non-physical physical part called firmware. Firmware functions as the provider of basic instructions that can be carried out by a hardware which is stored in special memory chip on a piece of hardware, which can be either ROM or EEPROM. Firmware is a small piece of software that usually written in inferior programming language to quickly produce basic instructions that can be used by the hardware. This basic instruction can be divided into three. Those are: 1. Basic input instruction that can provide information to other software, namely the operation system with intermediate driver. For example, typing with the keyboard, moving the mouse, and many more. 2. Basic process instructions are tools that only occur in hardware, not on a complete system. And 3. Basic output instructions that are called by other software, namely the operating system with intermediate driver, that occur when there is an order to use the hardware from the user. For example, playing video with a monitor, printing document with a printer, and so much more. So, for next, we'll continue about development by Rahma.
First generation computers, large in size and limited capabilities because computers components use a vacuum tube. Computers at the time still use punch card as a method of storing and entering data. Example of first generation computers include the ENIAC, which was made in 1946, and the IBM 653 RIMAC, which was developed in 1943. Second generation computers using transistors in place of vacuum tubes, computers became smaller in size. In addition to the development of hardware, the second generation of computers was also marked by the development of the first programming language, namely the assembly language. With this programming language, Users can give commands to the computer more easily with words that are similar to everyday language. Example of a second generation computer is the IBM 790, which was launched in 1959. And next, third generation computers using the integrated circuit IC resulted in even smaller computers. Programming languages that were developed with this third generation of computers are structured programming languages such as C and COBOL. An example of this third model computer is the IBM 390, which was launched in 1900, and fourth generation computers using a microprocessor CPU, small and easy to use as it is today. The programming language developed with this fourth generation computer is a special programming language such as SQL for databases and text for text processing. Example of fourth generation computer is the Altair 8800, which was launched in 1975.
Thank you to Rahma R Zahra. Then presentation will be explained by Narrator 2. It's Dede Rahmadi.
Alright, to shorten the time, let's get started. Computer hardware is defined into several categories like input, process, output, storage device, and electrical hardware, which has a different function. The first category is the input device, and those are number 1, keyboard. Keyboard is the main input device for a computer system, which consists of buttons for operating the computer. Keyboard can be used to input data as a whole on a computer system. Number 2, mouse. Mouse is a computer peripheral device used to input data in the form of cursor movements, clicks, and scrolls. Number 3, scanner. The input hardware on a computer with input data in the form of a scan of a document, like a photocopier. Then there is the process hardware, which is a type of hardware that functions to process data or execute commands from the data entered, such as number 1, processor. Processor is the main process hardware, which is an electronic circuit component that can perform computational execution of logic, arithmetic, control system, and specific input or output based on the user ordered instruction. Number 2, motherboard. Motherboard is hardware in the form of a circuit board that connects its hardware device in a computer system and is equipped with a BIOS chips. BIOS is basic input-output system. And 3, VGA or video graphic array is hardware used to visualize data in graphic form. The rapidly development of VGA support of the gaming and CAD industries. Next, there is the output hardware. Among other are number 1, monitor. Monitor is an output device that is used to display the results of the graphic data processing from VGA. Speaker. Speaker is an output device used to produce sound, card processing results. Printer is an output device that is used to print paper. Those are the explanation of the parts of hardware from me. I have written it back to Moderator.
Next, presentation will be explained by Narrator 3. Is Sinta Kamalia.
Thank you. Alright, for the next part is stock hardware. Stock hardware is the type of hardware that functions to store asset data. There are two types of stock hardware. non-volatile internal stock HDD or SSD, and volatile stock RAM. Here are some examples of stock hardware. 1. RAM. Random access memory is a volatile stock medium. Data is lost when the power is turned off, and the data is accessed randomly. RAM is used to store data as it refreshed by the processor. 2. ROM. Read-only memory is a non-volatile stock medium. Data is not lost when the power is turned off, but the data is in read-only mode. RAM is usually used for BIOS or firmware chips. 3. Hard disk is a non-volatile stock medium. Data is not lost during a power failure, which is used to store operating system data and use other data in the form of a digital disk. Hard disk allow to dive stock location based on partition, where in running and for the operation of a computer system is certainly requires a stable power and full intake. The computer system uses a power supply for management of electricity to each of the other hardware device. In addition, users usually update the stable to stabilize the electricity and enters the computer system before it is regulated by the power supply.
Thank you for following this presentation from my friends. I hope what we said can be useful. That is all, and thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.